We are burning up here at the stream.tv. What is up, fam? Dylan Landon here as the host of the Flash After Show. And guys, it's a very special one because we are joined by the one, the only, Robbie Amell. What's up, Robbie?
Thank you. What's up? I can't live up to that introduction.
No, come on, man.
They're so disappointed. They're like, oh, that was great.
But dude, you were bringing the heat all episode. We saw
thanks.
Firestorm more so tonight. This was kind of your episode.
It's kind of our origin story.
Yeah, I
the
love that.
Firestorm origin story.
Did it bring justice to the script when you read the script and then you seen it come to life?
When I read the script, I was like, you can't do this on TV. You know, the scene where the Flash and I fight and fly through the sky, and I drop him and catch him and throw him in a van. I was like, you can't do this.
Right.
This is like a $150 million movie scene.
But
they
they
killed
did it.
So how did it like actually work like logistically? What did you have to do to shoot
So
that?
we shot it on 3 different days. Some of it is me. There's no stunt doubles involved. 'cause
Wow,
our
look
stunt
at you, high
doubles,
five up top.
well, it's because they're digital-less.
Yeah.
Oh, about to say, all right, Jackie
He's
Chan.
doing
his own stunts.
So we did like there was some live action stuff where we're pushing around. Then as soon as I take off, they change to digital doubles. And then they have us sitting in this green screen room on bicycle seats on what looks like a lazy
Bicycle
Susan,
seats.
like one of the things on the
that
table.
spin around.
Wow.
Yeah. And so they have it spinning so that we're just standing there with a big fan blowing at it,
Right.
spinning around, trying not to fall off bicycle seats
So-
with like mattresses underneath us.
So time out, how awkward must it just be like to be on a lazy Susan, like a large size lazy Susan, just like hugging.
another man.
Just hugging
With
Barry.
another man.
Yeah, just
So-
hugging him, just hugging it out.
I was like, somebody better take some pictures of this because this looks ridiculous. But I mean,
It
looked
came out
awesome.
looking
And we
good.
got plenty of more questions to get to, but let's not forget our co-hosts on the panel. On sitting here joining us, we got Jack, Devon, Lauren getting super cozy tonight, all on one seat because we had to make room
Oh, hey guys.
We had to make room
for
What's
the
up?
star
Sorry, guys.
himself.
Sorry
So,
about that.
in reality, though, who would really win in a fight, though? Firestorm or the Flash?
Well, hey, watch yourself.
Devon might take this answer
The
personally.
show is
so-
called The Flash, so I don't think Firestorm's winning that fight.
Fair
Well,
enough.
technically, you could have won that fight
But-
if you wouldn't have catched him and threw him into the van.
That's
It's
true.
definitely
It could happen.
won. That round went to Firestorm.
Oh, yeah,
Correct.
100%. Round 1 Firestorm.
Correct.
All right.
Scorecards are 10-8 for sure.
I'm gonna just act like the Speed Force doesn't exist in this argument.
So question for you. What about with all like the fake fire? Like, is it weird when you're on set? You're, obviously we watch, you on TV, and there's all this extra stuff going on, but that's not happening on set. There's
None
no
of
real
it.
fire. So how do the reactions of the other actors? Like, how do you react to it? Like, how do you do
Grant
that?
says the hardest thing about filming with me as Firestorm is not to laugh. So, like, when I burst into flames for the first time and I fly away, I'm standing there, I go like this, there's nothing there, and I go like that, and I jump,
Oh my God.
and the camera goes up, and I just run off to the side.
And then you're just done.
It's
Who's the funniest actor on set?
Oh my God.
Out of character.
Tom Cavanagh's really funny. Carlos is hysterical.
For sure.
Everybody's really fun. Like, everybody just has a good time.
Do you guys
They have
hang
a
out
really
off
good
set?
group.
Do you guys,
When I'm in
grab dinner?
Vancouver, I hang out with them.
Awesome.
And so Carlos plays Cisco
Yes.
Ramon, and we saw him and Joe kind of really get to the bottom, or a little more closer to
Yeah.
solving
Yeah.
the case of who was really in the house that day.
Yeah.
And we found out, and we kind of assumed that one of the blood was going to be of Barry, but there's still this other person's blood. So who do we think this other person's blood is?
Who do we think, Robbie?
As
can't
someone
say
who
that.
reads the scripts, I'm just
Right.
going to take a back seat on this question.
Well said. Greg will be very happy. Greg.
I'm just
gonna
ruined
say-
the whole thing
I'm
right
gonna
now.
say Eobard Thawne, okay? I'm gonna just rest
Now wait,
that.
are you saying Erebor Thawne as Eddie's son, or are you saying it's Eddie's blood?
relative or descendant of some sort. I don't know, but you can't have the Thawne last name, as I always say, without having Thawne
Why not
in there.
actually Eddie Thawne? Why do you think it's a descendant?
Well, because I don't know, Eddie. I don't know. I
I feel
don't
like that
see
would be
it as him no more.
that would
it's
be
in
a
your gut.
twist.
It's in your gut.
It's in my
He feels
gut.
that
I
way.
I feel
don't
like
see
that
it
would
as
be a
being
realistic
Eddie.
twist.
Plus, I mean, if they put it in the blood system and it didn't come up as Eddie, I mean, he's in the system. It's somebody
Is
that
he
obviously
really in the
might not
system? Though?
exist.
Is he really in the system? If you're a cop and you
That's
never
true.
commit a crime, are you really in the system?
If you're not, if you haven't
Everybody's in the
committed,
system.
no. If you haven't committed a crime, if you haven't ever been fingerprinted before, I don't.
Please
think
look
that
at your
comes up.
phone. How do you unlock it with a fingerprint?
That's why I didn't do it.
Fucking
That's why I didn't do it.
System. Sorry.
Give me some.
Fingerprinted by the
Give me
police
some.
department. Fingerprinted by the police department. That's what
I'll
I'm
play
saying.
devil's advocate. What if Cisco saw that it was
Ooh, and didn't say anything.
Wells' blood?
Or lied.
Oh, he
And
could have
didn't want
lied.
to tell him?
Boom.
What if he lied because he's done so many favors for Harris? Oh my
That's a
God!
good one. That's a good one.
know.
But I don't think he would say it. I don't think he would say
I
it.
don't think he'd give it
True.
away, but that's such
He
a
looked
good
pretty
point.
shaken up.
That was a pretty good one.
How am I supposed? I
And like
can't
you
argue
said-
with him.
And he
I
said,
can't argue with him.
Joe said
This
it was
is
on
the
the phone.
quietest Devon has ever been all season.
Like I can't dispute that because he knows what we don't.
Right, and guys, obviously
you.
we're having a great time here, and don't forget you could get in on the fun as well. Tweet us your questions for the cast, and Robbie, use the hashtag TheFlashAS, use the hashtag Firestorm, and while I'm on that, real quick, pop quiz, what does Firestorm stand for?
Oh, I'm not.
Oh my God, no one knows.
God.
No one
No,
knows.
no,
No, it's
told
the
us.
acronym. They talked about it on the show.
I know, it's too
I
hard.
never had to say it on the show.
Exactly.
It's
And
too
you know
hard.
what? Ronnie doesn't know.
Yeah.
It was too much.
Stein knows.
Ronnie's
Too
not
much.
allowed to know.
Ask Victor Garber.
But we do, Ronnie and, Ronnie, did that get confusing?
First, I was Stephen with a cousin named Stephen, and tomorrow people, now I'm Ronnie, but I'm Robbie. It's
Right.
like the CW is just.
So
At
you're-
this point, you just respond to anything. People
Yeah.
are like, "Hey, you." You're like, "Okay, that's
So
me."
your character is Ronnie, and you have a relationship with Caitlin.
Yes.
Okay, now Barry and Iris, they also have a relationship. So do you see
Well,
any
not anymore.
similarities? Well, whether they're together or not, it's still,
subject.
whether they're together or not is, as an argument.
Don't
But
get
they
him
are,
They're giving it a
iconic couple,
shot.
right?
Yeah.
So do you see any similarities between yours and Caitlin's relationship and Barry's and Iris's relationship, or are they totally, completely sides of the spectrum, different sides of the
I
spectrum?
feel like they're pretty different. I think the main difference is Caitlin knows about Ronnie and his superpowers and everything, whereas Iris doesn't know about Barry and his. I think that's the biggest separation between the two.
But Caitlin's very accepting of the situation.
Yes
Ronnie's
and no.
now
You're
in.
going to see the next
Oh, we
episode.
will. We
I
will
mean,
see.
my character Ronnie and Caitlin want to give things a try, but a lot changed over a year.
Over the period of time,
she's
yeah.
now hunting and capturing metahumans. Ronnie lost a year of his life because of Star Labs, and maybe wants to start fresh somewhere.
Here's a question we
After
asked.
all, I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there was a lot of love there. I feel like that's really hard. I mean, if you truly love someone a year,
They're going to give it a try.
Yeah.
What about Barry and Caitlin hooking up?
Don't
Possibility?
talk to me about that.
Don't talk to
Oh,
me.
Hey,
whoa. See, now, I
I
liked the
know.
last episode when Barry and Caitlin went to the
Had
karaoke.
some
I said
drinks?
this, I
You're
really
a
enjoyed
Snowberry
it.
supporter.
I'm
No,
not- I'm not a
West Allen,
supporter.
bro.
It's a
I'm
snowstorm.
not a supporter,
alright?
but I did enjoy the
now I get
chemistry
it. I
they
did not
shared
get that all
between
week.
each
I
other.
was
well,
like,
that's so cute how you just put those names together. Like
I didn't
that.
know
No, it's
that's
all over
just me. It's a
Twitter.
hashtag.
It's all over
Hashtag.
Twitter. I did not get it at
people,
all. I was like,
hashtag.
what?
But Caitlin's reaction to when they got home was very excessive in the last episode as well, I must say.
Well,
She
yes,
was very
Devon.
forward.
I'm gonna talk about this episode, and I'm gonna say I see now that the role reversal has happened between Iris and Barry, except she went a trifling path with it. Okay, because when he had to sit there
Trifling.
and watch her look at with Eddie all the time, he was like, you know what? You're right. I'm still cool with Eddie. I support you. Go move in. I'm gonna move back into the house. When she found out about Linda, who I'm not too happy about, and don't reveal nothing, even though I'm gonna talk to you after this, but Linda, because we all know that's. Can I say it?
Yeah.
That's Wally West's wife in the future, but I
Right.
ain't want to say nothing. You ain't hear that from me. But
So
now
I
that,
have a point to say to that
yeah,
once you finish.
and then Iris hit her with
They
the,
may
well,
not
you
finish.
know, he loves somebody
Yeah.
before you, so you need to go ahead step. I was like, whoa.
So I have a two-part question.
What's up?
Because you are right on to something. Is Linda,
Is
there more to Linda than meets the eye?
They're
She
very
seems a
well
little
to
sketchy.
Nah,
That's what I was thinking. On their second date, she already tried to take advantage of him like that.
Yeah,
Dumb.
Like
It's-
maybe she
it's
is
not
one
right.
of
She
these
was very
from the
forward with him
future,
all of a
and she's
sudden.
back to
If
mess
she
something up.
is, yeah, then that would definitely make sense why she just miraculously appears and then just starts
She's
dating him.
really
It's
trying
very
to get in
convenient.
there with Barry, maybe distract him
Maybe
from like
it's just love at
some-
first sight. Who knows?
Who knows?
Wait, no, they're onto something. All right.
Yeah, right.
I
Maybe,
like this. I
maybe.
like this.
Oh, okay, I got the Von Hug. I got the Von Hug.
You got me? Okay.
Maybe Linda
Proceed.
is sent back to like distract Barry from
Yes.
doing his Flash duties for some reason that we have yet to find out yet.
Oh, do
Possible.
tell.
Okay, no, that's all I got for
That's
now.
all- that's all I
But
have.
with that being said,
We gonna talk about
is
this.
this going to cause Iris to now really be into Barry?
I'll tell you one thing. I can't shed much light on this, but in episode 15, I believe, there is a Barry Iris storyline that is absolutely going to shatter your entire universe.
Oh my God!
I'm so excited.
We got to
It's gonna
single
be
on
okay.
that now. Stand by for a lot of memes coming by. So you guys
So
just got this screen grab right here of Devon's face. So do what you guys do and go ahead and do some Photoshop, create some captions of Devon's. One more time of Devon's reaction right now. There you go. Let's freeze frame that. So we're very lucky to be joined by a television star, but your career is not going to end there. We have a movie star here.
That's right.
You're starring in the brand new movie called The Duff, which hits theaters February 20th. I think we have a poster of it. Ooh. And, it's a coming-of-age tale.
It is.
You were mentioning is something along the lines of John Hughes, and be sure to
It's got
follow
a-
it. Twitter, The Duff, Instagram, The Duff Movie, and Facebook, The Duff, and of course, TheDuff.com. So when this audience goes to see The Duff, what are they getting?
You know, it does have a very John Hughes feel, but also it's contemporary. It's got the Mean Girls, the Easy A, with a technology element to it. And it kind of explores...
What do you mean technology element?
Like Twitter, Facebook, and,
Oh, okay,
and
gotcha.
almost like
Cyberbullying.
cyberbullying a little bit
Cyberbullying,
in there.
okay.
That's, you know, that's
Could you explain,
that's
when you were
touched
telling
on.
us earlier what Duff actually stands for, or what it means in this movie? Can you explain that?
So,
Because I wasn't aware.
The
so.
Duff stands for the designated ugly fat friend. I didn't know this term.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe it's because I grew up in Canada and everyone's
I didn't know
polite.
it either. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Like
We old.
About half the people I talk to know the term and half the people don't. But the movie's not really about that. The book was called The Duff, so that's the same title for the movie, written by a 17-year-old named Cody Keplinger, who's
Stop.
now in her mid-20s.
17?
Yeah, 17 when she wrote it.
Impressive.
The hell?
Talent.
And it just feels very real. It explores, you know, the problems that teenagers and people every day go through, you know, about feeling confident and comfortable in their own skin. And anybody can be the Duff. It's not like one person for one reason. It's not just about looks.
And
Like,
does your character help bring that message home, or is your character kind of the antithesis?
Yeah, and I think we have some photos of
First,
you in character. Wewe'll just roll these while you talk about it.
Sure.
You can check these out. There you
that's
are.
the moment where I tell her she's the Duff, and it doesn't go over too well. I'm not so charmingly just tell her that she's the designated ugly fat friend.
Wouldn't imagine that would go over well with any girl.
But my
With
character
any
just
girl.
kind of looks at it as the like a term. It doesn't mean you don't have
Right.
to. You know, in that scene, I'm saying you don't have to be fat. You don't have to be ugly. It's just the thing that it's
Yeah.
called.
And she
you
can, of
know?
course, get out of that, and that's what you help her try to do.
Well, the interesting thing is she goes to her friends and she's like, how could you not tell me I was the Duff?
Oh.
And they're like, what are you talking about? You're just our best friend. They don't see her as
Right.
that.
As that, right.
And it's really just, the story is her and myself kind of helping each other figure things out and be comfortable in our own skin and not change for anybody. And we just get to do it in a really funny, weird,
That's
wacky
awesome.
way.
And what's your character's name?
Wesley Rush.
Wesley Rush. Now, while you're shooting the movie, did you see any similarities from Wesley Rush and Robbie Amell's high school days?
Not at the beginning. At the beginning of the movie, my character is like a stereotypical dumb jock, or at least he comes across that way. And then you find out that
There's
he's
more
got
to him.
he's got a good
Yeah.
heart. He's smarter in other ways, not so much academically, but he
Relating with people, it seems
he
like.
does. He's
Yeah.
got a
people
social,
person,
you know,
yeah.
a high social IQ, if you will. And he teaches her some things, and she teaches him some things. But it's really just the two of them going on this journey. And the nice thing about it was we were given a lot of free range with our dialogue. So
You know,
it
it's
feels,
funny that you mentioned that, because even just watching that like short clip, like the way that the writing was done, it just seems kind of more off the cuff.
It's very natural.
Yeah.
We would do 8, 9, 10 takes per size because we would just try different jokes, and you can't really have an ego about it. You try a joke and they're like, not
Right.
funny. You're like,
Okay, thank you.
and then you do it and they're like, we like that one. You're like, yes. All right.
Guys, so don't
kinda
go
funny.
anywhere.
I'm
We
kinda-
got Robbie Amell in studio. We're going to get to your fan questions. We got some panel questions, and it's all right after the break, so we'll be back in a flash.
Just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
Just in case you missed it live.
Oh, just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live, I'm doing something right now.
So we're all super excited.
So this is dancing.
So what would that be, like a 7?
I cannot. I literally cannot. You guys have got to get it together.
Don't hate the player, don't hate the game. Hate the contract you didn't get.
He's like Howard. He's a giant chicken shit.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's gonna be like hurricane. Whoa.
Watch out for those girls. They are gagging them.
Hold the phone.
Hold on.
Bro.
That the more brutal you are, the more power you have.
Right.
That was sexy. It was hot. It was heated. I was into it.
You are going to be the most high-paid hooker in the world.
Go ahead and invite your friends and everybody. Tell your mama. Tell them don't go ahead and turn the stove off and get up on the computer so we can get on the stream.tv.
Thank you again for joining us, and until next week, bye-bye.
We are back in studio here at the Stream.tv in Hollywood, your Flash fam, hanging out with Firestorm himself, Robbie Amell. Let's just do a quick round of applause for Robbie.
Oh, no.
Thanks for being here. Yes.
Oh, he's so hot.
I'm only saying it because you answered that Firestorm Flash question right. That's why I like it.
And we're going to get to some Twitter questions right now, but how are you guys friends? Because Lauren actually brought Robbie in, so we have Lauren to thank. So how did you guys become friends?
Through David.
Yeah,
Eisenberg.
through our
We've known
management.
each other for years, like 5 years maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
We had a good night with his girlfriend Natalia as well, doing some karaoke one night. That was pretty fun.
I was about to say he's engaged now. So you need to calm down.
Keep it on the slide.
It was a group atmosphere. It was in the public place. She was there.
All right, guys, so keep sending your
Just making
questions
sure.
to hashtag #TheFlashAS, and let's get to our first one from at The Flash Podcast, who always does a great job of doing their thing every week with us. Is playing Ronnie Firestorm more physically demanding as opposed to Stephen Jameson on Tomorrow People with the special effects and all? So which is more physically demanding?
Actually, as far as physicality go, they're very similar. Like the teleporting is kind of similar to flying. I'm just kind of jumping or stumbling and running off screen. Shooting a TK blast out of my hand is like shooting fire out of my hands. They're very similar in that regard. As far as the visual effects go, that's all up to Armin and the visual effects department. I have literally nothing to do with that. So
So basically,
I
when
do
you said
it
if you
in
can do
trust.
this, you got it.
Well, no, by the time you were on The Flash, you were already like well versed in this world. So when you were working on Tomorrow People, was it a little bit of a learning process compared?
A little bit. Our director on the Tomorrow People pilot, Danny Cannon, who directed the Gotham pilot, is so good, and he came into it with an idea. There was an air blast that we would get hit with when we teleported, so you just learned a lot really quickly. Like by the end of the pilot, we all kind of knew where it was and what was going on. But the nice thing was I built up a great trust for Armin, our visual effects supervisor, because it was the same from Tomorrow People as the Flash. Right. So I can trust him, and I know that no matter how silly the movement I'm doing is, he's going to make it look badass.
Yeah, that's great.
Let's get to our next question from at Forever Johnny Boy. What up, Johnny?
Hey.
Johnny.
Emily Kinney has just been cast as the Bug-Eyed Bandit. How do you feel about the gender swapping of the character? Hashtag #TheFlashAS. So that's right, we got a new actress making her debut on The Flash coming up as the villain Bug-Eyed Bandit. Normally a man. And I think we actually have a photo of what it's going to look like, or what she looks like.
Mr. Larv.
So what's your opinion about, it's not only just The Flash, in all superhero world lately, it seems like genders are swapping, ethnics are switching. Is it a big deal to you, or is it even a do you think it's a great thing?
No, I think it's great. I don't think there are that many great female roles as far as superheroes and supervillains go, and I think she's a phenomenal actress, and I'm excited she's going to be on the show.
Beautiful. Devon, any Bug-Eyed Bandit notes?
No, I mean, I don't feel like he was a big enough villain to really care that much. But when it comes to like gender swapping and race swapping and stuff like that, I don't have a problem with it really. But sometimes there's so many other characters that you could utilize.
Sure.
For example, like Guardians of the Galaxy. No one knows who that was. You know what I'm saying? But they were able to make it such a big hit. You can easily do that with
like
plenty
making
other
them
already racially. What's the word I'm looking for? Racially different. There's
Ambiguous?
a smarter
Ambiguous.
Thank you. I sounded stupid.
Now I think, very rare for you, Devon.
You know. Well.
Now what I think though is Bug-Eyed, she controls insects, and I think there's some interaction between her and the Atom. Because the Atom shrinks down to the size of like bugs. So
I
I don't know, either she's
Barry.
going to jump to a little bit of the Arrow, because it is a little bit of a shared universe, or Atom might make an appearance on Flash.
I'm still trying to jump over to the Arrow universe, okay?
I'm sure you're going to be on an episode of The Arrow real soon. And I actually want to ask you a question about your cousin and stuff. Do you have the same relationship with Stephen, and Robbie and Stephen are cousins, personally as you do with each other professionally?
You know what? We were really close when we were young, and then he's 7 years older than me. which people don't normally know. They're like, who's older? I'm like, are you shitting me?
You know when you meet you guys in person, you can tell when you meet, like...
We're good buddies. We were really close, and then that 7-year age gap,
Sure.
he was, 15, and I was 8, and there's just no
Exactly.
common
You were
ground
not
there.
Girls
cool
come
enough
into
to
the
hang out
picture.
with 15
I'm like, I'm into toys, he's into girls,
Yeah.
and then we met back in
Now
LA.
it's the other way around again.
Yeah,
Now he's in toy drawing together.
We're both engaged, so neither of us. We're just into our fiancés and wives, and or he's married, and we just became good buddies again. We do football Sundays all the time. I shot the Tomorrow People in Vancouver last year, so it was nice to be.
Well,
with
Hollywood
family.
in general could be a very isolating life.
Sure.
I mean, now you have your fiance, so it is probably nice to have someone not only
nice to
you're
have
close
family
with, but
wherever you
family.
Of course.
Yeah.
And how cool would it be eventually, one day to be able to do something with him? That would be awesome.
I keep pitching it.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm trying to get anything
Keep throwing
done.
it out there.
Berlanti, let's
Let's
go.
get to our next.
It would be cool.
How great is Greg Berlanti?
He's insane.
He's just a beast.
You hear he's one of those guys where you're like, he's so talented, and you see what he's done on paper, and then you hear how nice he is, and you're like, yeah, right. Like, there's no way. He's got to be a dick, and
Right.
he's the nicest guy
That's awesome.
on the planet.
Is he like a boss though? He comes into the meetings and he's like just about
Professionalism,
getting
He got his.
stuff
He,
done.
he texted me the other day, and he was like, he knows I love cars, and he just texted me 2 pictures of a McLaren.
Yeah, he's
And I
like,
was like,
"Ooh."
what is this? And he had an Aston Martin before that.
He's
and
like, "My new car?"
He gave it to me for a week when the Tomorrow People got picked up.
Greg
He was like,
Berlanti.
here's your
Is-
car for here's
What
my car for a week.
What are you
That's
driving now? The
awesome.
Stingray?
Stingray,
Is
yeah.
that your white Corvette
Yeah.
Stingray? Yeah, I see it outside. I was like, that's
So guys,
totally got to be his.
Greg-
I was like, yes.
Greg Berlanti is like
Legend.
the creator, executive producer of like all these superhero shows we're seeing, like Arrow and
Arrow,
The Flash and Supergirl.
Supergirl.
He's involved along with Geoff Johns and Andrew Kreisberg from the guys at DC. So they are killing it. Greg, if you're hiring,
Great
I'm just
trio.
saying. Let's get to
We're
our
all
last
down.
fan question, then we'll get to some live ones. So send it in right now on the YouTube chat. This is from Jaun Prezeth. Jason Aus Present, I guess. At all of us, how and when did you find out you got your role for the show? I like this question.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Actually, I was shooting. I had just wrapped the Duff on a Wednesday night. They put me in a car. They drove me to North Carolina to shoot a movie I did called Max, where I played a Marine. And they had just finished shaving my head, and I walked into
Oh my gosh.
to my trailer, and I was like, "Oh man, this is ridiculous." And my phone rang, and I picked up, and it was Greg, and he was like, "Hey, I have a role for you on The Flash if you want to do it." He's like, "I don't know if you're familiar with Firestorm," and I was like, I know who that is.
I know who that is.
And he was like, "Do you want to do it?" And I was like, "Yes."
yeah.
Best shit in the woods.
Of course I
Let me
do.
think about it for a quick
And I'm like,
second.
"This is
Yes.
the best day ever."
Now, did he know you because of your work within CW on Tomorrow People?
Yeah, we became pretty close on the Tomorrow People. We shot the pilot in New York. He became like an older brother to me.
Yeah.
And he was very disappointed when the show didn't get another season, as was I. And he's been fantastic to me ever since we met. I did Brothers and Sisters with him like 4 years ago.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah, I like that show. I
That was
like
on
that
ABC?
show. Yeah.
Yeah, ABC.
That was a good show.
Okay, guys, we're gonna get to some live questions.
I
So
got
if you're
one.
in the YouTube chat right now, let's go over to Lauren.
Okay.
What do you got, Lauren?
I got you one. All right. New Age Titan says, where does Robbie want Firestorm to go as a character?
Ooh. Back on the show.
Yeah.
If I'm in LA, I'm not shooting.
Yeah.
The Flash.
That's true.
What's next for Firestorm?
Well, they next episode is called Fallout, and that's exactly what it is. You know, the end of this episode was us trying to separate, and you get to see the aftermath of that and how it may not be the best thing for the two of us.
Well, guys, you got to tune in to next week's episode of The Flash, and obviously the after show to find out what happens. One more question, Roy.
Okay,
Then
let
we'll
me
get to
find some other ones. We
shout-outs.
gotta see. Right now, people are just saying McLaren's a sweet car, so we got that going on.
What is your favorite car?
Greg will be
yeah.
happy about that.
We got
Favorite
another
car?
one saying
458
Firestorm needs his own show.
Shares the
here
name
we
with
go.
my
Actually, no, I love
fiance.
this
I have
one.
to.
I
you
love
have
this
it,
one.
Laura? or
Yeah, I
she-
got
okay.
it. Danny Bonham wants to know, how difficult was it for you to act as Victor Garber Martenstein, which is actually what I wanted to ask you earlier, because
me
that's
too.
difficult to act as a 60-year-old man when you're in your body.
It was. I also didn't want to do an impression because I think that's when it starts to get kind of weird. Like,
yeah.
it's still my body. It's still me vocally. It's just
Yeah.
him mentally. So, to be honest with you, the main thing I thought was, okay, enunciate more and act
Just
a
have a bit
little
more class
older.
almost, yeah.
Exactly. Hold myself a little better.
Yeah.
And then I had dinner with Victor Garber, and I said, I'm doing you from Alias. And he said, well, I don't care what you're doing.
That's
Do you
awesome.
think it might have been, as an actor, was it a little easier for you to kind of just step outside of yourself for a second and try to, even though you're not impersonating Victor Garber?
It was fun.
Yeah.
I met Victor a couple years ago doing a little TV movie with him, and we became good friends.
Oh,
and
good.
So it was fun that I knew him and I had spent time with him, just because I felt like I could not offend him.
Right.
Totally.
But yeah, it was interesting.
Well, it worked.
Yeah, that's always weird because not only are you playing someone who's significantly older, but you're also playing someone who actually exists in real life. So having to like portray them well.
And someone
is
who's so talented and
Right.
unbelievable. I was like, this is a dream and a nightmare.
It could either go one way or the other.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, before we wrap things up here with Robbie Amell, we got some Twitter shout-outs. So, guys, of course, hit us up personally or at the Flash After Show AS, and we're going to shout you out. Like, I got to add Brad Chenault1. Chenault's a street in L.A. A. Rosen210, Manny Lopez29, Drake Akin1, and the Andy Epps. What up? Thanks for hanging out and talking to me all week. Jack, who you got?
I believe you have a birthday shout-out. You got the birthday shout-out.
He already said it. A. Rosen 210.
A. Rosen210,
As a matter of fact,
happy
he probably
birthday.
feel good if Firestorm himself gave him a
Hey.
birthday.
Hey,
Happy
Rosen
birthday.
210.
Happy birthday.
What's up? Happy birthday, man.
There we go.
Awesome.
There
Chris
you go.
Hawkins, shout out. What's up, Chris? Sincerely, fangirls. They just started following me. They're pretty funny. They're a huge fan of Arrow and all that as well.
Cool.
Marcus Jenkins, big shout out. Amy the 100th fan, and Chandler Hayford. Big shout out to you all, guys.
And one more, this guy told me specifically to shout him out because he is a grown man with Flash toys, and he wanted to be sure I knew that. And I said, I respect that, bro. I respect that. And because of that, I'm shouting out AC Music 7. What's good?
Yeah.
And don't open them. Don't open them. They're worth more later.
Open them and play with them.
Now, Robbie,
Enjoy them.
Obviously, thank you for being
You
here.
don't buy toys to sell them. Enjoy them.
That's true,
Smash
that's
them
true.
together and have a good time.
We just want to give you the opportunity now, if you want to look into the camera, say anything to your fans out there, fans of The Flash, fans of Firestorm, fans of your career. This is your moment, man.
Absolutely. This has been, being on The Flash has been very special, and the reception has been incredible from, fans who came over from the Tomorrow People, from Arrow, or just people who found me on The Flash. I really appreciate it. I read all the tweets all the time. And please go check out The Duff, February 20th in theaters.
My man is a pro right here.
He's
Thank
got
you,
this.
Robbie, for hanging out.
Boom.
Now, guys, we're going to do a very special after show segment as soon as we stop taping here. We're bringing back Stream Dream casting, and with the news of Spider-Man being hooked up with Marvel and Sony now, woo, mine's exploding. We're going to do a fan cast. So that's hashtag Stream Dream casting. Robbie, you going to hang around for that?
Absolutely.
All right, we also got Superhero Feed, the awesome Twitter and Instagram profile that's going to be joining us as well, making their pick. So, guys, we'll see you next week from The Flash AS. I'm Dylan, Jack, Devon, Lauren, and, of course, Robbie, Firestorm. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you for being here. Peace out.
Bye, guys.
Now, those mirrors got me thinking about mirrors.
If you want more from the Flash After Show, hit that button and subscribe to the stream.tv.